coffee in hand and an exciting guest by my side, it's time to dive in. Welcome to the Circular Coffee Break podcast, where we will be casually talking about everything circular and beyond. So let's get started. My guest today is Hong Quan Nguyen. He is the director of the Institute of Circular Economy Development and associate professor at the Center of Water Management and Climate Change at the Vietnam National University, Ho Chi Minh City. I'm really looking forward to talking with Quan about his extensive experience and insights into advancing the circular economy in Vietnam and the broader ASEAN region, as well as his work on sustainable development, water management, and climate change adoption. Welcome to the show, Quan.
Thank you so much, Michael, for your kind invitation for me to join this great event podcast. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to say what we are doing in Vietnam with our audience in the Asia or in the world. Yeah, thank you so much.
Great. Thanks for joining. And I met you first time, or I had a chance to listen to you in one of the ASEAN Circular Economy Summits some weeks back. And based on what I heard there, I thought it's great to share your experience and your insights with the listeners. But maybe to get us started, could you maybe introduce yourself and your role at the Institute for Circular Economy Development? What inspired your focus on circular economy and sustainability, and what are the things you're looking at?
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, I think first about my background. Actually, I'm a professional training in hydrology, especially environmental hydrology. I did my master. PhD and postdoc in the Netherlands, Germany, and came back to Vietnam around 2010. And I've been working on water sectors since then, especially focusing on water management for agriculture and urbans, especially in the Mekong Delta and Ho Chi Minh City. So during my work on water sectors, I found interesting in inter and transdisciplinary study because the issue is quite big, quite complex. So if we look at it just in a pure discipline, for example, I started a study about water engineer, environmental hydrology. So it's difficult to solve the practical situations. So I start working with other colleagues from other fields and also discuss with people from different sectors. So we're working in academic world, but we are working with local governments, with industries, with NGO, and with international developments, and we exchange about our demands. So different people, different groups having different let's say interests. More for example, those they're more interested in social ecological conservations, but some others more on economic growth, also equities and some others. So this make me a bit linked not only in water sector, but it need to be going a little bit broader, which is sustainability. And last 5 years almost now, from 2020, I was appointed to found and develop a new institute, named the Institute for Circular Economy Development. And we work together with other colleagues under support from our university and also some industry partners to set up institute. And been working on that. So I'm leading the institute working on quite broad circular economy topic over the last 5 years. So actually, I'm kind of a bit engineer, but also a bit more social research. So recently also I finished my another master degree on public policy. So having more how to work with policy institutions related topic. Yeah.
Interesting. Thanks a lot for that introduction. And naturally, the Institute for Circular Economy Development plays a quite significant role in shaping circular economy practices in Vietnam and the ASEAN region. And you mentioned the very broad scope of circular economy, but also you mentioned different players like companies and and public organizations. Can you maybe share some of the projects, some of the initiatives that you and the Institute have been undertaken in the past 5 years?
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Just also to add in a bit, because our university is actually an eco-ministry university. So we can be considered a political, apart from research or training university, we are interdisciplinary university with about 100,000 students across also different disciplines. But we have a strong mandate to support the countries in terms of following political agenda, also supporting policy development or recommendations. And that make us have also a strong engagement to government, especially from national level and also local levels. Yeah, so actually the circular economy is one of the new economic models why our university established this new institute. Yeah, so in this the last few years we've been also working quite broad across different topics related to circular economy, from looking at how it can support urban city development. For example, we work with Ho Chi Minh City government, especially Institute for Development Study, to develop a so-called green economy strategy framework. And now they transform into a so-called green road strategy for Ho Chi Minh City until 2030. That is another study we work with government is Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province, where we develop a so-called circularity plan for Con Dao Island, where different topics related to circularity proposed and now implementing on waste management, water circularity, ecological conservations, green transportations, green energy, and also green tourism, and was approved by the city, by the province. And now we're also supporting them to the plan. So it's really a strong commitment also from the government to implement the plan with about $20 million until 2030 for implementing the plan. That is just like a local initiative, but we also support some other at the national levels. For example, we support to give some recommendations on at some national policy related to circular economy from Ministry of Natural Resources Environment, Ministry of Investment Planning, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Especially we work with the German Development Agency, GIZ, to support Ministry of Industry and Trade to develop several articles on the law related to key industrial development law. So after that, and now it's under consideration by the National Assembly. So this is also kind of industry or government level. So during this work or study, we work with local government, central government officials, also consulting with industry companies, in different topics, including retails, manufacturing, also industrial zone, industrial management boards of different provinces to learn about what they are doing, and also how circular economy can support this transformation process. And also a few other topics that we've been working on, especially like plastic, textiles, and a few others. So just name a few, including some other very grassroots where we work with local farmers, local company to learn or to support their livelihoods through circular economy, or helping them develop business models on circular economy at the company. Just some examples.
Interesting. It's a very broad spectrum of different initiatives that you have ongoing with various players, I guess, in that context. Now, I would like to jump a little bit more deeper into your role, into your initiatives around like policies, working with public organizations, as you said, on national as well as on local and community level. What do you see as some of the main challenges, but also opportunities for scaling up circular economy practices in Vietnam, but maybe also more broadly in the ASEAN countries?
Yeah, I think this is a very good question, and we are working on that. I think what we have been observing first, of course, the opportunities, because Vietnam is a party-led countries, and as long they have, let's say, in the political agenda, the whole political system is supporting for implementing. So since 2021, when our central party resolutions, this is for the 5-year plan from 2021 to 2025, and then is implemented by the central government from the prime minister and also many others in ministries that I just mentioned. So the whole system is following. Yeah. So the engagement from central governments and also local government to follow agenda is really strong. So we are quite easy. Not so easy, but I mean, we are quite. They are normally very welcome us to study or to support their work on developing the policy. So they are very welcome our recommendations, our sharings about what they have been proposing. So it's really a strong interactive process over the last few years. This is not only from our university or institute with others, but I think it's really the whole community. So they listen to us, but they also listen to industries and listen to development agencies. We have also quite strong support by World Bank, UNDP, GIS, few others. They support Vietnam to develop policies. Yeah, so we also engage in this discussing process. Yeah, so of course the opportunity is also because of the demandings from the globe. Yeah, so Vietnam also joined a lot of international agreement, including trade agreements. So green economy or greenings or transformation is really demanding. So with the current practice, make Vietnam to be difficult to really transform in this transforming process. So circular economy seem to play a good role or good guidance for to engage in this process. So we because of the demands also. So we talk with different stakeholders on this topic. They get really good attention. Yeah. So it's opportunity, the good opportunity for working on this topic, but also opportunity for different groups of or different actors. They see about this, including from government, industries, and some others. But of course, the challenge is a lot, yeah, because circular economy is new, and actually not many people trained or was trained on this topic. So people, when they hear about circular economy, they still think something broad or something like too broad, or someone maybe think about it too narrow, because some only looking at circular economy related to waste management, because they said, okay, the waste from company will be reutilized by another company. It's the circular economy. So so if someone look at it a bit broad, then they don't really know how to really implement it at the policy levels or at the industry local level. But those they think it as waste management. So this is just very small in their development or their strategy. Yeah, so this is awareness or understanding about circular economy also quite different from before. Yeah, so or even group like 63 different province cities, but one leader of this maybe perceive about circular economy are different from others, and also industry or companies as well. So the first is, I think, understanding or the awareness about circular economy is still limited, and secondly, go to that is about people. So you need people who really understand it and who can help to implement their strategy or their plan, even from the top leaders. Yeah. So in the
Yes.
past years, I think we've been working a lot on that, and now I think it's improving. And then I think that's coming up to a few other barriers. Maybe we talk a lot about financings, how to if we have enough finance to support this transitioning process in circular economy, because the current finance system is not really supportive. So we need to work a lot on green finance. But the regulation or policy on green finance, for example, green taxonomy is still underdeveloped. So we don't have really yet good initiative or policy for support, let's say, financing company, especially SME. Vietnam, and I think also the countries, we have a lot, like we have like more than 95% SME. So, but the capabilities, including financial capital, is quite limited. So how can support them? Yeah. And of course, then we can talk about limitations on technology and innovation. So there are other, but I think the first are more important: awareness, understanding, and people who are really can work on this topic. So we're so limited in their company or in their government bodies, but also even consulting group people also not much. Even in our, we don't really have people who was really trained on that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the challenges are very similar all over the world. It's about awareness. It's about like guiding people, giving people the insights, the understanding, to basically drive these circular economy initiatives in the context of not naturally running a business. I mean, you have to run a business at the same time. Now, you mentioned the large amount of small and medium-sized enterprises. And there's naturally various stakeholders. You also mentioned the cooperation with international organizations, with the local governments, with the communities. How do you cater for that collaboration? How do you bring all of these parties together so that you can make that progress and build that awareness that you mentioned?
Yeah, so I think building awareness for different group of people, I think the government also aware of that, and many others also aware. So they, out of the last years, we joined a lot of event, conference, or workshop, training workshop, and conference by our governments, by a lot of organizations, and like international organization, commercial one like Eurojam or others in newspapers. They also do a lot of television. They do that. So people are really working on that. So I think bring people to understand. I think now we've been quite a lot of good progress on that. But the thing now is how, let's say, how we can really bring people together to work together on realizing good projects or good programs. So I think this is still depending a lot on case. Yeah. So for example, we work with few several governments, but some of them are really interested and push a lot of efforts on that, like Ho Chi Minh City here or the Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province. So they are really put a lot of efforts and commitments, including resources. Like I mentioned, the Con Dao circularity plan get committed about 20 millions US dollars to implement the plan. So they assign budget for implementing plans, not only talking, but also clear or allocate budget for implementing. And now we still, and then we try to work also together on realizing some specific project together, and with where we try to discuss with companies working also with local government, and also try to bring others. So on the rate. So and at that time we will need to understand interest from different group, different stakeholders. So how we can design a project and to get it implemented. So it's still, I think, balance. So because when you come to a real one, you really need concrete actions and concrete policy regulations. Yeah? But it's not always easy. So not all on.
Yeah.
So now we also need to work further on that. So, but there are some, let's say, potential solutions. For example, Ho Chi Minh and Vietnam also going to release a so-called regulatory sandbox. So
Okay.
the regulatory sandbox meaning that even something are not yet regulated, but under this sandbox program, you can implement. So that
Okay.
make yeah, because okay, let's say yeah, industry they can do something by themselves, but because I think we need to come back a bit to the definition of circular economy, in which one of the core I think principle is we try to create benefits, not only economic benefits for industry, but it can be also benefit for the society, including job, including social equities, or including environmental ecology conservation. So actually, this topic is not really the main interest by industry. So this should be also the engagement, the interest by government, by international global agency. So how they can work together? They need to really allow some, let's say, initiative or kind of regulations to support this engagement, this partnership. Yeah. So this the sandbox can help to that. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Yeah. So this is a
Yeah.
national level, but also at the local level, like Ho Chi Minh cities, they also have some specific regulatory sandbox for Ho Chi Minh City crossing green renewable energy, and also very important topic, innovation. So when we talk
Yeah.
about innovation, I think we agree that we need really to work together. So it's not only the
Yes.
roles of industry, but the role from the government, from other sectors, and also the roles of the university, where there's something you need more knowledge, more advanced understandings about this,
Yeah.
crossing from technology to social science, yeah, understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think you're spot on naturally with the fact you need public-private partnerships. You basically need the
Yeah.
different stakeholders to actually work together. And I love the idea of creating the sandbox where you can test out things, where you can bring these parties together to actually start the collaboration in kind of a almost safe environment where you
Yeah.
don't need to invest a lot of money yet, but you can test
Mm.
things, you can try out things, which naturally also helps in what you mentioned earlier, this awareness and also understanding the position of different parties and how do I bring the different parties on board. So I think that's a very, very good approach to actually bring people on board with a very low threshold to start understanding what does it mean. It goes beyond recycling, it goes beyond waste in that context.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the coffee is empty and it's time to wrap up the episode.
Mm.
But Con, before I let you go, maybe one
Mm.
final question. I mean, looking forward, looking into the future, what are some of the trends and the developments you see both on regional level, on national level, but also on global level that will shape the circular economy landscape? And what role would you like the Institute for Circular Economy Development and the Vietnam National University to take in shaping that circular economy agenda in Vietnam, but also beyond that?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Michael. I think this is really uh, demanding or visioning question, and yeah, and
Yeah.
actually this console come to our, let's say, missions. One of our mission of our university or our institute also is to link circular economy in from Vietnam to the world. So actually, I think when you said about the landscape of global landscape of circular economy. Actually, I think over the last few years, especially the comings, the COP29 and few others events just last September in New York on the United Nations working on sustainability and some updated. And actually, I think I believe that we have been in the right track. We learn a lot from the globe, and I think we see also the strong engagement, the need of collaboration amongst the countries from global north, global south, developing world to developed world, developed countries. I think that really the needs on collaborations and we need to go that because this is the global issues. So we have been talking a lot in the past about sustainable production consumption, for example, but actually at that time, maybe let's say 10, 20 years ago already working on that, but it's not really push up like now because now the demanding is much higher and people are aware about that. And it's also driven by countries, but also industry in this because I think we observed it, and this message I think is getting stronger and stronger. So the benefit is coming to both sides, not only from developing world, but also global. Developed countries. Yeah, so I think in Vietnam I think we definitely have to follow that, and it's also I think the motivation for us is quite strong because at the same time we can try to, let's say, economic growth where we try to improve our economic condition, but at the same time we also try to reach the global target on climate change, on social equity, on environmental, ecological conservation. So I think the opportunity for Vietnam even much bigger because there are a lot of space there still to grow. Yes. So I think is good, but also at the same time, other countries where the trading, the exporting products across the country to country, it's also need that we work together. So we try to bring the good products to other countries. Agriculture, for example, the food, everyone needs it, and to operate. But so I think with the engagement, the institutionalizing process of global agenda and how this to be institutionalized at the country levels is still a big challenge, but I think they need to enforce it. And I think there are also quite opportunity for regional or country collaborations in South Asian countries, ASEAN Pacific or Indo-Pacific. That we can make the globe become where we just only talk or discuss a lot about security, political security, or others topic, but we go to proper livable environment or inclusive development. So so I'm really looking forward for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. As mentioned, the coffee is unfortunately empty and it's time to wrap up the episode. Thanks a lot, Quan, for joining me today and for providing us a glimpse into your work and into what's happening in Vietnam and the broader ASEAN region. It's exciting to, exactly as you mentioned, see that development, see that focus on all the different levels of society on driving circularity. So thanks a lot for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
And also thanks to all of you out there listening. As always, we hope today's episodes brought some new insights, some inspiring new perspectives. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, subscribe, or give us a 5-star rating. That will actually help us grow the Circular Coffee Break community, reach more people with these ideas, developments, and raise awareness around the circular economy. So share with your friends, family, colleagues, whoever's in your network and you think could actually benefit or enjoy the podcasts. Now, the only thing left for me today is to thank you all for listening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all here at the Circular Coffee Break podcast.